Today, we're going to do another in this series of applying the work of psychology to your weight loss and health efforts. The person I want to recognize here is Jim Rohn. His work is quoted and imitated or stolen intentionally or unintentionally by pretty much everyone who talks about improving your life. He is one of the OGs of personal development. He is the grandfather of the industry, really. He was actually Tony Robbins' original mentor. He has condensed profound wisdom into short and sharp quotes that are simple and undeniably true. When you hear them, they get you in the gut and stimulate an instant deep reflection on your own past experience. But I've chosen a few of the most powerful quotes to go through here that are greatly relevant to many areas in life. But we're going to unpack them specifically for our purposes of weight loss and improving your health. So let's jump straight into it. The first one here is one of my favorite of all time when talking about improving ourselves and making life better. And it goes, "For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. For things to improve, you have to improve. And when you grow, everything in your life grows with you." Now, wow, this one gives me goosebumps. If you ask most people what they want, really, is just to stay exactly the same and just have their bodies change shape. And to have the same attitudes towards food and exercise and just be in better shape. But this is just not possible. If you think about someone who is 40 kilos overweight, for example, and someone who's fit and lean, these two people have totally different values on health and wellness, and they have a totally different identity and attitude towards movement and strength and what they spend their time on. Maintaining physical changes is not about just changing your diet and exercise. Your diet and exercise change when you change. The trick to keeping it off for good is changing you for good. Number 2 is set a goal, not because of what you'll get, but because of who you will become by setting it and working on it. If someone's reason is just to look good or impress others, it doesn't cut it in the long term. Look, it's definitely a good reason and is undeniably a motivating factor. It's just too shallow to provide fulfillment and commitment over the long haul. On the other hand, when your efforts are in service of developing your character and willpower and energy and resilience, grit, perseverance, integrity, health, wellness, and everything else that you become by living the life required to achieve your goals, you'll find that sticking to your goals, even in hard times, will be much more achievable and fulfilling. Number 3, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Another great one. Wishing weight loss was easier and constantly searching for the easy program, the one that you don't have to think about, the one that will finally work for you, leads to failure and hardship. On the other hand, choosing to accept the difficulty of the task immediately makes it easier, and you become more capable of paying attention to your eating and movement to improve your health and your life. And knowing that as you improve in your ability to resist laziness and too much food, the task gets infinitely easier. So the only path to making things easier is to make yourself better. Number 4. The greatest value in life is not what you get. The greatest value in life is what you become. You can be filthy rich and be hopelessly depressed. You can be the best looking person on earth and feel totally insecure and unlovable. To achieve success in our external goals and have missed the mark on the internal ones is ultimately a failure to acquire what we truly wanted from the achieving of it. If we're honest with ourselves, we believe attaining an external thing will create a sustained internal feeling. If you've lived long enough, on this planet as a human, you know this is total madness. They may give you an initial burst of satisfying feelings, but inevitably you get over it and you need the next high. It's only in growing our internal resources that we achieve the power to hold on to those feelings. The feelings of self esteem, confidence, wisdom, and growth. When we aim at what we will become, again, ironically, we get all of what we want anyway. When we focus on the internals of happiness and fulfillment, external results tend to happen on their own. Focus on becoming strong and healthy, and the weight will follow. Number 5, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. This one, again, points to the idea that the more you focus your energies and ideas on the internal world, the external results become inevitable over time. Also, it implies that over the years, your job will not always be in your life, but you will still be in your life. You are the one who gets results, not the job. Since you are producing the work, the better you are, the better the work ends up being. To relate this one to weight loss, I would reword it as work harder on yourself than you do on your weight. A diet is only successful to the extent that it lasts. Nothing else. And diets don't typically last. The only thing that remains in the game is you. Your discipline and values and character are the elements that change and last, not your food consumption or habits. Number 6, the greatest effect of discipline is self-esteem. If someone does not believe that they can ultimately achieve something, then when it gets hard, they're just going to think, it's never going to happen anyway, so what's the point in putting in all this effort? The only thing it's going to achieve is I'm just going to miss out on this pleasurable experience. That is why I always ask at the end of a coaching session, how confident are you that you can achieve it? Because they are simply just not going to be able to achieve it over time if they cannot connect to confidence. And the work we do together would have to start with building their confidence that they can do this. When it comes to anything in life, if you can't believe it could actually happen, you're just not going to be able to put in the necessary effort, no matter how much you want to. If someone is to lose weight, get strong and healthy, and sustain it, you can be assured that they must have built self-esteem. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to achieve it or maintain it. Getting healthy is a great avenue to focus on applying discipline and to build self-esteem. Number 7, you cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. One of the key issues with change is that we want it all right now, to be at the end of the road immediately once we have begun. But the reality is that the amount of effort it takes just to pull up to the starting line and to get to the point of actually pulling the trigger and properly get moving is greater than anyone cares to admit and is not respected as much as it should be. The majority of the fuel used to get a rocket into space is actually used during takeoff. Going from a complete stop into massive movement burns a lot of willpower, leaving us exhausted before we've even really got going. Not blowing out all your willpower on takeoff is a key to sustaining the journey. The mind trick here is that if the expectations of a task are that it should be outrageously effective and consistently successful over a series of days and weeks and requires a massive amounts of time and focus, the pressure is overwhelming and punctures a huge hole in the bottom of your energy tank right at the outset. But when the perceived effort and expectations of extreme rapid results is low, the energy demand is low and the barrier to getting started is greatly reduced. Once you've started, you'll develop some momentum and pick up some energy from that which feeds into itself to keep the ball rolling. Understanding that the reality of any change is that it happens one step at a time. And once you take the first step, the next one becomes more manageable and natural. Number 8, make sure what you do is a product of your own conclusion. If you can imagine the life of someone who was able to take control of their weight for a lifetime, who was able to stay consistent with what was needed to be fit and lean forever, do you honestly think that they would be following a program fed to them by someone else the whole time? I think you'll find the answer is no way. And that is why diets don't last. Because they're a product of someone else's conclusion of what is best for you. Unfortunately, that is only work that you can do if you want to stick to it in the long run. Someone else's conclusion may work for you in the short term, but if you want to stick to it for years, you must be the one to have concluded it was the right way to go. You are the expert on you. It is a great learning experience to apply others' ideas, but make sure you're evaluating it and learning from it. Then build yourself a lifestyle you can actually live with. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and share it with a friend if that made a difference for you and you think it could make a difference for them. And I'll see you next time.